My beloved child, listen carefully because what I am about to share with you is not something ordinary. There is a reason these words reached you at this exact moment. Out of countless people moving through their daily lives, somehow you stopped here and decided to listen. That moment was not meaningless. Something inside you was searching for an answer, and now you are about to understand something that has been hidden beneath the surface for a long time. Before this message ends, you will begin to see why someone in your life has been acting differently around you. Why they sometimes become distant, why they become quiet, why they seem confused, yet still cannot completely walk away from your presence. There is a person, a very specific person, who carries feelings for you that are much deeper than you may realize right now. They think about you during the quiet moments when the world slows down. They remember your words, your expressions, and the small details that others overlook. They replay certain memories in their mind and search for signs that might help them understand what they truly feel. But there is something inside them that creates hesitation. There is something they are struggling to fully accept, and surprisingly, it is connected to something about your appearance. But before your mind creates painful thoughts, before you start wondering if something is wrong with you, listen carefully. The truth is much deeper than what it seems at first. This is not about perfection. This is not about the impossible beauty standards that the world constantly creates. This is not about changing yourself to become someone else. This is about something far more meaningful. It is about what your appearance represents, what your presence reveals, and the emotions you awaken in another person. If you have ever felt like someone looked at you differently, or if you have ever wondered why someone seemed attracted to you but also afraid at the same time, stay with this message. Because the very thing they struggle to understand may actually be the exact thing that makes their feelings for you become stronger. Yes, the truth may surprise you. This person notices things about you that most people never see. While others only notice your smile, this person notices the emotions behind it. They sense the moments when you are trying to stay strong even when something inside you feels heavy. While others hear your laughter, this person can feel the hidden emotions behind your voice. While others only look at your appearance for a moment and move on, this person pays attention to every small detail because something about you feels different to them, and that difference affects them deeply. You carry a presence that makes people look within themselves. Without even trying, you remind people of feelings they have avoided. You bring attention to emotions they have buried for a long time. Being around you can make someone feel exposed because your energy feels honest. The thing they struggle to accept is not a flaw. It is not something that makes you less worthy. It is actually something connected to your authenticity. Maybe it is the emotion in your eyes that shows everything you have survived. Maybe it is the way your face carries both strength and softness at the same time. Maybe it is the way you hide your struggles behind a calm expression. Maybe it is the quiet vulnerability that you think nobody notices, but they notice. They notice the parts of you that you believe are invisible. They notice the moments when you try to hide your feelings. They notice the way your expression changes when something touches your heart. They notice the difference between the smile you show the world and the emotions you keep inside. And this affects them because they were not expecting someone like you to enter their life. Before meeting you, they may have been comfortable with simple connections. They may have been used to conversations that stayed on the surface. They may have been surrounded by people who showed only certain parts of themselves. They may have believed they understood what attraction and connection were supposed to feel like. Then you appeared, and suddenly everything became more complicated because you did not feel ordinary to them. There are moments when this person looks at your photos longer than they intended, not because they are searching for imperfections, not because they are judging you, but because they are trying to understand why your face creates such strong emotions inside them. Something about you feels familiar and unfamiliar at the same time. One part of them wants to move closer to you. One part of them wants to open their heart completely. But another part tries to protect them from becoming too vulnerable. Because your appearance represents something real. It represents honesty. It represents emotion. It represents a person who does not completely hide behind a mask. And for someone who has spent years protecting themselves, realness can feel overwhelming. Listen carefully because this part is important. The thing they struggle to accept is not that you are imperfect. The thing they struggle to accept is that you are genuine in a world where many people pretend. In a world full of filters, forced confidence, hidden emotions, and people trying to appear like something they are not, your presence feels different. You do not simply attract attention, you create recognition. You make someone feel like they are seeing something they have been searching for without knowing it. That is why this connection feels intense. That is why they move closer and then suddenly create distance. That is why their behavior changes without a clear explanation. It is not because you are not enough. It is because they feel something they do not fully understand. Every time they look at you, something inside them becomes impossible to ignore. They feel emotions they cannot easily control. They feel drawn toward you, yet at the same time, they fear what those feelings might reveal about themselves. Because loving someone deeply can bring hidden fears to the surface. It can reveal old wounds. It can reveal insecurities. It can reveal the parts of ourselves that we have tried to keep hidden. And this person is beginning to face those parts because of you. Soon, there may come a moment when they can no longer continue pretending that nothing is happening. The walls they built around their emotions may begin to weaken. The distance they created may become harder to maintain. But before that moment arrives, something unexpected may happen between you. It may be a simple conversation. It may be a meaningful look. It may be a quiet moment where nothing seems special from the outside, yet everything changes inside. A small moment can sometimes reveal what years of silence could not. And when that moment happens, you may finally understand why this person behaved the way they did. Because deep inside, they were afraid. They were afraid that their feelings would become too strong. They were afraid that your honesty would expose their own emotional wounds. They were afraid that someone as genuine as you could see through the parts of themselves they usually keep hidden. Stay with this message because the truth goes deeper. This person remembers small details about you that even you may have forgotten. They remember the way your expression changes when you are trying not to show sadness. They remember the way you look away when something hurts you. They remember the softness that appears on your face when someone truly understands you. Those moments, stay with them. They return to those memories again and again because they made them feel something rare. And that feeling is difficult to ignore. Love does not always arrive loudly. Sometimes it enters quietly. Sometimes it appears in small moments, in simple conversations, in the details that others never notice. And now, this person finds themselves caught between two feelings: the desire to move closer to you, and the fear of allowing themselves to feel everything completely. The truth they are slowly beginning to understand is something they never expected. The very thing they struggle to accept about you is connected to something much deeper inside their own heart. Your presence reminds them of emotions they buried long ago. It is not because you caused any pain. It is not because you did something wrong. It is because something about you awakens feelings they thought they had already forgotten. That is why they sometimes become quiet when they are around you. That is why they sometimes seem lost in their thoughts. That is why their energy changes when you enter the room. They are not simply reacting to your appearance. They are reacting to what your appearance represents. They are reacting to the honesty, the emotions, and the memories that come alive inside them whenever they see you. You remind them of something real. And real emotions can feel frightening to someone who has spent a long time avoiding them. There are moments when this person tries to convince themselves that they can simply move forward without thinking about you. They try to focus on other things. They keep themselves busy. They surround themselves with conversations and distractions. They tell themselves that time will make these feelings disappear, but somehow their thoughts always return to you. No matter how much distance they create, something brings them back emotionally. Because what they feel for you is not based only on appearance. It is based on the feeling they experience when they are near you. It is based on the way you make them feel understood. It is based on the rare comfort of being around someone who does not need to pretend. Your appearance carries a story. It carries your experiences. It carries your strength. It carries moments of happiness and moments of struggle. It carries the journey that shaped you into the person you are today. And they can feel that. They can sense that there is more to you than what the eyes see. This is why their emotions become difficult to control, because they are not only looking at you, They are feeling the person behind what they see, and that is something many people spend their entire lives searching for. The world often teaches people to chase perfection. It teaches people to hide their weaknesses, cover their emotions, and present only the parts they believe others will accept. But you carry something different. You carry something honest. You do not have to be perfect to be unforgettable. You do not have to look a certain way to be worthy of love. You do not have to become someone else to deserve deep connection. The person who truly sees you will not only notice the outside, they will recognize the story behind it. They will understand the emotions hidden within your expressions. They will appreciate the parts of you that you once believed made you difficult to love. And this person is beginning to understand that. They are beginning to realize that the thing they questioned at first is actually one of the reasons they feel so connected to you. There is something about your eyes, your expressions, your presence, or the way you carry yourself that feels impossible to replace. They may have met many people before. They may have had conversations with others. They may have experienced different kinds of attraction. But something about you feels different. Something about you stays. Even when you are not around, the memory of your presence remains with them. They remember your energy. They remember the way they felt when they were near you. They remember moments that seemed small, but somehow became meaningful. And this is what surprises them the most. They expected attraction to be simple. They expected feelings to be easy to understand. But with you, everything feels deeper. You made them question things they thought they already knew about themselves. You made them look at emotions they avoided. You made them recognize parts of themselves that were waiting to be healed. That is why this connection feels powerful. It is not just about wanting someone. It is about recognizing something familiar in another person. There is a reason they hesitate. There is a reason they sometimes pull away. Because when someone truly reaches your heart, it creates a feeling of vulnerability. And vulnerability can be uncomfortable. This person may be used to being in control. They may be used to knowing what to say, how to act, and how to protect their emotions. But around you, that control becomes weaker. Around you, they cannot easily hide. Because your presence makes them feel seen. And being truly seen can be one of the most powerful experiences a person can have. They are slowly realizing that the connection they feel is not something they can ignore forever. The silence between you does not mean there is nothing there. Sometimes silence exists because someone is trying to understand emotions that feel too big to explain. Sometimes distance exists because someone is fighting against feelings they are not ready to accept. And sometimes a person steps back, not because they do not care, but because they care more than they expected. This is the part many people misunderstand. They see the distance. They see the hesitation, they see the moments of confusion, but they do not see the emotional battle happening underneath. They do not see the thoughts, memories, and feelings that someone carries privately. This person may appear calm on the outside. They may act like everything is normal. They may behave like your presence does not affect them. But inside, there is a completely different story, because every time they see you, they remember why they were drawn to you in the first place. They remember the feeling they had when they first noticed something special about you. Maybe it was your kindness. Maybe it was the emotion in your expression. Maybe it was the way you carried yourself without trying to impress anyone. Maybe it was the quiet strength you showed without even realizing it. Whatever it was, something reached them. Something stayed with them. And that feeling continues to grow. The moment they finally stop running from it, they will have to face a truth they have been avoiding. They cannot replace what they feel with you. They cannot simply find the same connection somewhere else. Because what makes this bond meaningful is not perfection, it is authenticity. It is the feeling of being connected to someone who feels real. And that is becoming clearer to them every day. They are beginning to understand that the thing they once struggled with is actually the thing that made them notice you differently. The thing they questioned became the thing they appreciated. The thing they feared became the thing that pulled them closer. Because sometimes the qualities we are afraid of are the same qualities that make someone impossible to forget. And you are becoming impossible for them to ignore. Because your presence awakens emotions they buried deep inside for years. Listen carefully now, because this next part is more important than you realize. The thing they struggle to understand is connected to how deeply they already care about you. If you meant nothing to them, they would not feel this way. They would not be affected by your presence. They would not spend so much time trying to hide their emotions. But the truth is that it does affect them every single day, and they are trying harder than anyone knows to keep those feelings hidden. Sometimes they create distance because something about you touches a part of them they are not prepared to face. It is not simply about physical beauty. It is something much deeper. It is the kind of beauty that creates emotions they cannot easily explain. The kind that stays in someone's thoughts during quiet nights. The kind that returns in moments of silence. The kind that changes the way someone sees love, connection, and themselves. Stay until the end, because what happens next reveals something you may never have expected. Soon, this person may begin showing emotions they have been holding back for a long time. At first, it may not happen through a dramatic confession. It may appear through a small action, a thoughtful message, a meaningful look, or a moment when they accidentally reveal more honesty than they planned. And when that happens, you will understand something important. They were never truly judging you. They were not trying to find flaws in you. They were fighting their own emotions. They were trying to protect themselves from becoming vulnerable because somewhere inside, they already knew you were different from everyone else they had met before. And once someone realizes they have met someone rare, it becomes difficult to simply walk away. This person secretly worries that you do not fully see your own value. They notice the way you sometimes doubt yourself. They notice the insecurities you hide behind your smile. They notice the moments when you avoid attention because you are afraid of being misunderstood or judged. But every time they see those parts of you, their feelings become stronger because your imperfections make you real, your emotions make you human, your vulnerability makes you unforgettable. Do not leave now, because the biggest truth is still coming. There are moments late at night when everything becomes quiet, and this person finds themselves thinking about the same question again and again. What if I lose this person? That thought affects them more than they want to admit, because even with all their confusion, their fear, and their attempts to control their emotions, a part of their heart has already chosen you. And they know that. That is why your presence affects them so deeply. It is not because you are perfect. It is because you feel genuine. You remind them that love is not about creating an image of perfection. Love is about feeling accepted, understood, and seen. And somehow you make them feel understood in a way they have not experienced before. Share this with someone who has ever questioned their worth because of their appearance. Something meaningful is waiting for you because the distance between you and this person is not permanent. The silence is not permanent. The confusion is not permanent. A turning point is approaching, and when that moment arrives, this person will stop pretending that you do not affect them. They will stop hiding behind emotional walls. They will stop running from the connection they feel, because some people enter our lives for a short chapter, but others leave a mark that stays forever. And whether they admit it today or later, you have already become someone they cannot forget. That is the truth. They can no longer escape what they feel. You were never supposed to discover this truth so quickly, but the signs have become impossible for them to ignore. There is someone who pays closer attention to your silence than your words. Someone who tries to appear distant while becoming more emotionally connected to you with every passing day. And now, the hidden reason behind their behavior is beginning to come to the surface. Do not skip. Stay until the end, because something important is waiting for you. This person has tried everything to control their feelings. They told themselves it would pass. They convinced themselves that they were imagining the connection. They tried to follow logic instead of emotion. But every time they see you, everything they tried to control returns. Because there is something about you they cannot emotionally escape. Not because it creates discomfort, but because it reaches them too deeply. And the surprising truth is that they are afraid. They are afraid that if they fully accept how much you affect them, they may never be able to let you go. Yes, that is the secret they have been trying to hide. Listen carefully now. Every time you enter a room, this person notices the change immediately. It is not something they choose to do anymore. Their attention naturally moves toward you. Their eyes search for you without thinking. Their emotions react before their mind has a chance to control them. And the hardest part for them is knowing that you probably have no idea this is happening. You see them as calm. You see them as someone who has everything under control. But inside, there is a storm of emotions they rarely show. Do not skip, because this next truth changes everything. The part of your appearance they struggle to understand is connected to the way you make them feel emotionally. Maybe it is the softness in your eyes. Maybe it is the expression on your face when you are carrying the weight of life. Maybe it is the quiet sadness hidden behind your smile. Whatever it is, something about you creates a feeling of care and protection inside them, and that feeling scares them, because when someone begins to truly care, they also become vulnerable. They create a place where they can be hurt. They allow another person to matter. That is why this person sometimes becomes distant without warning. It is not because their feelings disappeared. It is because their feelings became stronger than they expected. Something important is waiting for you. There are nights when this person replays conversations with you again and again in their mind. Not only the big moments, but the small ones that most people would forget. The way you looked away while thinking. The way your expression changed for a brief second before hiding your emotions, the way your face revealed feelings that your words never expressed. Those moments stayed with them. They remember them because your presence communicates things that words cannot always explain. Your expressions, your energy, and the way you carry yourself reveal a truth they cannot ignore. That is why they struggle so much. They were never prepared to meet someone who felt this genuine. Life taught them to expect temporary connections. Temporary attention, temporary emotions. Then you appeared with a sincerity they could feel immediately. And suddenly, their heart did not know how to protect itself anymore. Do not skip now, because you are getting closer to the deepest truth. This person compares others to you without even realizing it. They may try to move forward. They may try to distract themselves. They may try to focus their attention somewhere else. But something always feels different. Something always feels missing. Because nobody else carries the same emotional presence you have. Nobody else makes silence feel meaningful in the same way. Nobody else leaves behind such a powerful memory simply by being themselves. And deep inside, this person knows that. The realization is becoming harder for them to ignore. But here is the truth they never expected. The very thing they struggle to accept about you is the same thing that makes them trust you emotionally. Your imperfections make you believable. Your natural emotions make you comforting. Your honesty makes you unforgettable. In a world where so many people try to appear perfect, you feel real, you feel human, you feel safe. That is why they continue returning emotionally, even when they try to create distance physically, because something about your presence brings them peace. Comment vulnerable if this message connected with you and made you think differently about yourself, your appearance, and the way you are loved. This person is moving closer to revealing emotions they can no longer keep hidden. The signs are already appearing. Their actions are slowly changing. Their attention toward you is becoming stronger. The walls they built around their emotions are beginning to fall. And when the truth finally comes out, you will understand every confusing moment between you. You will understand why they looked at you longer than usual. You will understand why they became quiet at certain moments. You will understand why their energy felt different whenever you were near. You will understand why they kept returning emotionally, even when there was distance between you. Because what they felt was never just a simple attraction, it was a deeper emotional connection they struggled to explain. And now they are reaching a point where hiding it feels harder than admitting it. Do not skip. Something meaningful is waiting for you. This story is not meant to end with distance. It is not meant to end with confusion. It is moving toward clarity. It is moving toward honesty. It is moving toward the moment when this person finally stops fighting what their heart already knows. You became important to them in a way they never expected. And when someone reaches that level of emotional attachment, everything changes. Because some people enter your life quietly, but they leave a permanent mark on your heart. Whether they admit it today, tomorrow, or sometime in the future, there is one truth they can no longer deny. Knowing you changed them. Your presence changed the way they see emotions. It changed the way they understand connection. It changed something inside them that they cannot simply ignore. If this message touched your heart, share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe for more messages about love, emotions, and hidden feelings.